Greetings fellow tank commanders. In this video I'm going to be showing you a game that I played in the Nameless. This is a tier 8 Japanese premium heavy tank with regular matchmaking. The game I'm playing is a standard battle on Kasserine with tier 8 as the top tier and 1 artillery on each team. For this game my tank is equipped with a tank gun rammer, improved ventilation, and a vertical stabilizer. For the start of the game I decided to fight in the center trench, but my light tank teammate does a spotting run which quickly reveals that the enemy hasn't sent a force down the middle. I was anxious to get into the fight, but I wasn't willing to overextend down the middle so early in the game, so I decided to peek out of the trench. This was only my 7th game with the tank, so I still wasn't quite used to the gun depression yet, but that's a nice easy shot to start off the game. The accuracy of the Nameless is 0.37, which isn't anything to brag about, but with my improved ventilation and food that I run in the tank, I have no problems with the accuracy now. And even though I'm running expensive consumables on the Nameless, it has great silver earning potential, and even if I lose some silver one game, it's very easy to earn it back in the next. This is thanks to the 50% silver earning bonus that it has. Now that the Type 59 has taken cover, it's time to move forward and find some more targets. This Tier 6 Churchill 7 makes a great target, and thanks to my improved accuracy I can hit the very small area of his tank that is showing. I wish I had handled this duel with the T-29 differently. I wish I had stayed in my current position and used the gun depression in the center of my hull, which is better than the gun depression on the corner. And on this terrain it'd be quite awkward for him to try to target my weak spots, so I might have had a bit more of an advantage. Thankfully my teammate, who is in another Nameless, comes to my aid and saves me a long and awkward duel with his T-29. My teammate is on the enemy side of the engagement, and so he gets the full brunt of the enemy's covering fire. I even take a hit myself, and this is a lot of hit points lost just to take out a T-29. In my rush to get into the action, I left the center trench open, and the enemy currently has quite a few tanks going down there, so I'm gonna head in there now and see if I can repel their push. I was considering asking my teammate to follow me, but the enemy had quite a few tanks over where he was heading, and so it was nice to have a tank that was covering the other direction so that the enemy wouldn't sneak up behind me. Now in this engagement here, you're really going to get to see the full effect of the Nameless's armor. It can be very difficult to penetrate, and from the front there's really only 2 easy areas to shoot through, and that's your bottom plate and commander's hatch. Now because I'm at a downwards angle here, the enemy's actually not getting a clear shot at my bottom plate, and the upper portion of the hull is extremely reliable at bouncing shots, especially from tier 7s and 8s, which leaves me able to absorb a lot of fire here. I'm definitely glad to have the extra rate of fire from the food and equipment in my tank, because it's helping me hold my own in this engagement, and I was never overly concerned about getting swarmed, because my rate of fire would have been enough to dispatch the enemies quite quickly. Even this Ferdinand, which has a hard-hitting, reliable gun at tier 8, is having a lot of trouble getting through my armor. But he has managed to get one shot through my turret, and so I'm going to try to keep moving a little bit. But with this J-Panther keeping me permanently tracked, there's really nothing I can do besides wiggle my turret. But this is just great here, because I've been engaging the enemy for over a minute by myself, and they've only managed to get one penetrating hit on me. That shot leaves the Ferdinand with almost no hit points, and with my track finally repaired I can make a move on this J-Panther, which is long overdue. I find myself often ramming with the Nameless. It's got great speed for a heavy tank, but you've got to be careful because its max weight is 37 tons, which isn't a whole lot at this tier. And so against that J-Panther I lost 107 hit points, while taking out 131 of his, which ended up being completely useless in terms of finishing him off. So I will be trying a spall liner at some point just to see if it makes a huge difference. With that very long battle in the trench over, I can now go and hunt the remaining enemies. My teammates have been holding off the rest of their team very well, and I was hoping to get some easy shots on the enemy's rear, but the enemy Nameless has come to challenge me. We traded our first shots there, and now I don't want to waste any time fighting him at a distance, but he gets an easy shot on my bottom plate, and that leaves me at a one shot if he gets a high roll. But RNG is on my side, and I'm not really sure where that shot went through. My ram does 129 damage to him, but none to myself, and that's thanks to the controlled impact skill, and it put me just short of being able to finish him off in that last shot, but with a little bit of luck bouncing the enemy shot and getting my own through, down goes the enemy Nameless, giving me my 6th kill of the game. That was a really close duel. So now I'm using the Nameless's great mobility for a heavy tank, and I'm going 40 to 50 kilometers across this open area and through the buildings to get some extra damage. And I'm just in time to steal the final shot on this enemy 110. I was almost in time to get a shot on the enemy IS-3 as well, but just a little too late. Now let's check the post-game stats and see how I did. For this game, I managed to earn 146,000 silver without any multipliers, remembering that I didn't have to use my large repair kit or first aid kit, but I did have to pay for my onigiri. I also earned a generous 3,804 experience, also without any multipliers. In this game, I dealt 6,121 damage, assisted with 375 damage, and destroyed 7 enemies while blocking 4,040 damage. This earned me High Caliber, Top Gun, Devastator, Steel Wall, and unfortunately only a Mastery Badge First Class. I'm scared to know what an Ace Tanker medal requires in this tank. I placed at the top of my team, earning an awesome base XP of 2,305. I managed to hit all 29 of my shots and penetrate 24 of those. I was only having to fight at short and medium ranges this game, so I'm not going to get too used to those numbers, even though the gun is quite reliable. In terms of crew and module damage, I damaged the engine in the Churchill 7, damaged the ammo in the T-29, injured the radio operator in the Ferdinand, and injured the commander in the Nameless. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing that game with the Nameless, and that'll give you some ideas on how to fight with and against it. Stay tuned for more awesome World of Tanks videos.